Welcome again, children, and we are doing the practical work only, and we will talk about the few organisms which we did not do earlier. And so this one is liver fluke, right? Liver fluke. So this organism is liver fluke and it belongs to phylum Platyhelminths. Again, this is an invertebrate, and Fasciola hepatica is the scientific name of this organism. Fasciola hepatica. Now this is an endoparasite, and endoparasite is one that is found inside the body, and it is found in the bile ducts of sheep, goats, cattle, and sometimes other vertebrates including man. So it is also found in man. What is it? It is an endoparasite. So inside the body. It causes severe liver disease called liver rot. That is why it is known as liver fluke, right? It is somewhat triangular. Now if we look at the diagram, if we look at the specimen, we see it is somewhat triangular. That is the shape that we can see, somewhat triangular, flat leaf like. If you look at the shape of the leaf also looks, the liver fluke also gives that shape of the leaf. So it is leaf like parasite, and it is around 25 mm, right? 25 mm in length. It has an oral and ventral sucker which is known as acetabulum, used to adhere to bile duct. Now if you look at this region here, that is the region where the oral sucker is found, right? Body is covered by cuticle with spinules, right? So that is it. It has a blind sac body plan with single opening called the mouth. So blind sac body plan, only one opening, that is the mouth. The animal is hermaphrodite. So what does hermaphrodite means? That male and female are not separate, right? So it is an hermaphrodite. So the organism is hermaphrodite, has a common genital aperture which is known as the gonopore in front of the acetabulum, right? So the gonopore is found just in front of the acetabulum, right? So this region somewhere here is the acetabulum that is found, right? And the oral sucker is found in this region, right? The excretory pore is also there. It has a complicated double host digenetic life, right? So what kind of a life cycle it has? It has a di means two, genetic life, double host, digenetic life cycle. The secondary host is a snail, right? So the secondary host is a snail. So that is, it completes its life cycle in two organisms. That is why it is said to have a double host or digenetic life cycle. It is larger species of, if we talk about another species, that is Fasciola gigantica, right? Hepatica is liver fluke, and there is another one, gigantica, which is larger in size than the common liver fluke and is found in the liver of cattle. Now if we talk about the diagnostic features basically means what are the identification features. The identification features is that the body is roughly triangular shape, it is leaf-like, covered with cuticles, and the presence of two suckers, right? So that's about the diagnostic features. All the details of the identification characteristics I will provide you with the PDF, right? Let's see the next organism, and the next organism is earthworm, right? So this is an earthworm, right? The earthworm, and it belongs to phylum Annelida. Ferritema posthuma is the scientific name, right? Ferritema Ferritima is the genetic name, and Posthuma is the scientific name. Right, so that's the earthworm. You can look at the diagram. It lives, I'm sure everybody, each one of you have seen earthworms, and especially here during the rainy seasons when you are here in the school and out on the ground for the assembly or for the games. I'm sure you must have seen earthworms crawling. So these earthworms, they live in burrows in moist soils where decaying vegetation and other organic matter is present. And during the rainy season, they come out of the burrows. Why do they come out of the burrows? Because the burrows, they get filled with water, and so they do not have enough oxygen to breathe. So in search for oxygen, they move out of their burrows, right? So basically because it gets flooded with water, the burrows. It has a long cylindrical body. If you look at the body, it is cylindrical body, right? This is the body shape, and the body is cylindrical in structure, right? It is segmented. If you look at these linings that are present, right, you can see the segments present over here. So the body is segmented, measures about 10 to 20 centimeters in length, quite slimy. Slimy means it is quite slippery. So the body is slimy, right? In touch, pinkish brown in color. So obviously when they move in mud, they appear to be brownish black in color. Otherwise it is pinkish brown in color. The dorsal surface, that is the back surface, or the surface that is visible to us, right, when the earthworm is crawling, is recognized by the darker color. That means the dorsal surface is always dark. The dorsal surface, the surface that is visible to us, the upper surface is the dorsal surface. It is dark in color, and the part of the earthworm that is towards the ground, that is the ventral surface, right? The ventral surface is marked, it is lighter in color, and there are genital apertures that are present in the ventral surface. What is present? The genital aperture, right? What is an aperture? Aperture is an opening, right? So the genital aperture is present in the ventral region. Papillae is located in the anterior region of the body, right? The segments 14th, 15th and 16th form a band called the clitellum, right? Now if you look at this band over here, this is the clitellum, right? So this is the clitellum, and the 14th, 15th and 16th segments, they form this band. It forms one or more egg cases or cocoons in which ova are laid and fertilized. Mouth is present at the anterior end. A fleshy lobe called prostomium dorsally overhangs upon the mouth like a hood. Anus is present in the last segment, right? So if we look at the two ends over here, right, these are the two segments, these are the two ends of the organism, right, where the anus and the mouth is present. Each segment except the first and the last bears row of minute yellowish setae. So just below that, each segment will have small hair-like structures which are known as setae, which are not visible this side. Towards the ventrally you will find them, right? Now these help in locomotion. So setae, they help in locomotion. So setae are found and they help in locomotion, right? Earthworm is hermaphrodite, that means single genital opening. No, there's no differentiation of male and female, right? So this is hermaphrodite. No differentiation. Now if we talk about the diagnostic features, the body is elongated. You can see the body is long, it is cylindrical, and you can see the segments that are present, right? Prostomium and clitellum are present. Prostomium is present in the anterior region, right? Dorsally, it overhangs upon the mouth like a hood, right? Then the presence of setae is towards the lower surface, that helps in locomotion. So these are the diagnostic features, right? the next organism that we will study in the practical, the specimen that we will talk about is the honey bee, right? So that's the honey bee that we will talk about, and honey bee is also known as Apis indica, right? So what is this? This is honey bee, and if we talk about the scientific name is Apis, right? Apis is the genus and indica is the species. So Apis indica, it belongs to the phylum Arthropoda, right? Arthropoda. I am sure you must have seen many honeybees, and I am sure many must be scared of the honeybees because it stings also, right? And the sting is painful. So the honeybee is a social insect, socially very active, and lives in a colony showing great division of labor, right? So the first thing, it is social insect, right? Lives in a colony, right? And then they show division of labor, right? Division of labor is also seen. There are three types of individuals. When we talk about the division of labor, there are three types of individuals that are present, and these three individuals are queens, right? Queen is there, then there are drones, and they are worker bees, right? You studied about them earlier. They are found in a colony, and the drones are the males, right? Males, while the workers are sterile females. Sterile females means no fertilization can occur in them, so they are sterile females. The queen lays eggs, so egg is laid by queen. Queen lays eggs, drones are males, and workers are sterile females. The body of the honeybee is divided into head, thorax and abdomen, right? So if we look at the region here, this is the head, this region is the thorax region, right? And here this is the abdomen region of the honeybee. The head bears a pair of antennae, right? So if you look at the antennae here, you can see these are the antennae that are present, and a pair of compound eyes. So you can see the eyes also here. The antenna is here. You can see the eyes also that are present. So it bears a pair of compound eyes. Thorax has 3 pairs of legs, right? So if we look at the thorax, we will find that there are 3 pairs of legs, 1, 2 and 3, right? And of course 3 on the other side. So these are out of the 3 pairs, that is out of the 6 we are showing 3 over here. So 3 are on the other side. So there are 3 pairs of legs and 2 pairs of wings that are present. So over here in this picture you can see only 1 pair, but there is another pair that is attached, right? So 4 wing and hind wing are there. The mouth parts are rasping, lapping type, modified for collecting the nectar basically and pollens. The worker bees have a sting at the posterior end of the body, right? So posterior means at the back end of the body they will have a sting that is present, and the sting is present, the sting is present here. So I mean the posterior, right at the end over here the sting will be present, and these are present only in the worker bees, right? So that is how they sting us with that. The diagnostic features is the presence of jointed appendages. Now jointed appendages, if you look at these, this is an appendage. You see here, this is joint, this is joint. Here this is joint, this is joint, right? So these are jointed appendages that are present. 3 pairs of legs and 2 pairs of wings, which are hind wings, are smaller. Hind wings are the back wings, which are smaller, and the 4 wings, these are probably the 4 wings, and 1 would be the hind wing. So the hind wings, the ones that are at the back, are smaller in size as compared to the wings that are in front, right? So we move on to the next one, and we will talk about the fish now, and phylum Chordata of course. right? So we will talk about the fish here, and of course the phylum is Chordata, right? So we're talking about the chordates now, and the subphylum is Vertebrata, right? So the subphylum is Vertebrata. We will talk about Scalodon, and Scalodon is also known as dogfish or shark. So what is this? This is Scalodon, right? So Scalodon, and this is also known as shark or dogfish, right? So it belongs to class Chondrichthyes, right? So Chondrichthyes is the class to which it belongs to. Dogfish is the common name, right? This is also known as the dogfish. So dogfish is the common name of this organism, right? Commonly known as shark, also found in the coastal waters of India. It has somewhat laterally compressed sideways. If you see, the body is flattened or compressed, right? Laterally compressed, spindle shape. Now if you look at the shape here, tapering at the two ends and broader in the center, that is spindle shaped body, or we also call it a streamlined body, right? Spindle shape or streamlined body with pointed snout, right? So if you look at this region, this is the snout region, right? Snout, and the snout is pointed. The body is differentiated into head, trunk and tail, right? So now if we see, this region is the head region, this is the trunk region, and this is the tail region, right? So this is the head, this is the trunk region, and here this is the tail region. So the body is divided into head, trunk and tail. The head is dorso-ventrally compressed, flattened, which ventrally bears semicircular mouth. So if you look, another very important characteristic that you need to know when we talk about Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes is the position of the mouth. Now if I will enlarge this figure here, and if you look at the position of the mouth is placed here. This is the mouth region, right? And what is the position of the mouth is, we see that the mouth is positioned below the snout, right? So when it is below the snout, we say that the position of the mouth is ventral, right? So all the organisms, all the fish that belongs to Chondrichthyes, they have mouth placed ventrally. So whenever you look at the fish, even in spotting, if you get the fish, you just locate the place of the mouth, right? So either the mouth is at the terminal end or below, right, ventral region. If it is in the ventral region, then the fish belongs to class Chondrichthyes, right? So the mouth is ventrally placed. It has sharp, inwardly curved and pointed teeth, right? So of course the teeth is not visible. Two large eyes, you can see the eyes over here, are present on the head. 5 vertical gill clefts. If you look at this region, here these are the gill clefts that are present, place where the gills are there, right? Cleft is a depression or an opening that is there. So 5 vertical gill clefts are present, right? So these are the gill clefts present behind each eye. So one gill cleft, you can see 1 of 5 set is present over here, and the other side of the eye, that side also the gill clefts will be present. 2 mid-dorsal and 1 mid-ventral. Now let's see here, 2 mid-dorsal, and I'll just, now we can see the diagram here, 2 mid-dorsal and 1 mid-ventral, 1 caudal and 2 pairs of lateral, pectoral and pelvic fins are present for swimming, right? So I will have to make this more smaller. Okay. So now we talk about the fins here, right? So they have the dorsal fin that is present, right? Then the pelvic fin that is present, dorsal fin, the pelvic fin, right? you can see here these are the caudal fins that are present, right? Caudal means towards the tail region, right? So caudal fins, pectoral and pelvic fins, and mid dorsal, mid ventral, right? So these are the fins that are present. Then sexes are separate. The males have claspers in the pelvic region, right? Claspers are a kind of structures that are present in the pelvic region. This would be the lower part, would be the pelvic region. These claspers found in the males are the copulatory organs. Sharks are viviparous. Yes, they are viviparous. What does viviparous means? They give birth to young ones, right? So that is why they are viviparous, right? They give birth to young ones. So that's about Chondrichthyes, right? And now we move on to the next specimen, which is again a fish and belongs to phylum Chordata, subphylum Vertebrata, but the class to which it belongs is Osteichthyes, right? It belongs to class Osteichthyes. So Osteichthyes is another class, and as I told you about, when you look at the position of the mouth, you can find out the difference, that is to which class it belongs to, right? The mouth here is terminal, right? In Chondrichthyes we said that the mouth is ventral, and here this is mouth which is terminal, right? This is the most common rohu fish. All those who love eating fish, they in their houses rohu is also eaten, right? So rohu is the common name of the fish, and labio is the genus, and rohita is the species. So labio rohita, it is a freshwater dweller, commonly known as rohu fish or the Indian carp, widely used as food fish in our country, right? It is taken as food. Measures around 30 to 90 centimeters in length. Body is somewhat flattened and streamlined. Again, you can see the body is, all fish will have a streamlined body, right? Dusky black in color and laterally but pale white ventrally, right? So ventrally, if you look at the lower surface, that is pale white, and dusky black. The upper dorsal surface is dusky black, covered with overlapping cycloid scales. Now these are the scales you can see that are present like this. So those are the scales. Mouth is subterminal, right, at the end, right, terminal position of the mouth, right. A pair each of nostrils and large lateral eyes without eyelids are present. You can see here the eyes. Lateral eyes means at the sides. 5 pairs of gill slits covered by an operculum, right. So now if we look at the operculum, right, this region here is the operculum, right, operculum, right, a kind of a plate or a cover that covers the gills, right. So we did not see the operculum present in Chondrichthyes, but here we see they are present in Osteichthyes. 3 median, that is dorsal, ventral and caudal, and paired pectoral and pelvic fins are present, right. So you can just see all the fins that are present over here, right. Lateral line sense organs are present, right. So the lateral line sense organs are present over here in this region. Sexes are separate, males are without claspers, right. So that's about the fish, and we move to our next very sweet organism, which is the rabbit, right. So rabbit again belongs to phylum Chordata, class Vertebrata, subphylum Vertebrata, and class Mammalia, right. So it belongs to the class Mammalia, right. It lives in fields, makes burrows, feeds on vegetation. It is herbivorous. Body is divided into, you can see the head region, right, the neck region, the small neck region is there, right. This is the trunk region, and it has a bushy tail. The body is covered with hair of white, brown or black color. So here in the specimen we see white color. The mouth is bounded by soft and fleshy upper lip. You can see here the upper lip, right, and the lower lip is also there. Upper lip is clefted, there's hair lip, right? You can see a cleft means a depression like this, right? With sensory hair of whiskers on the snout, right? So whiskers, hair, like it will come out like this, right? So when you were small, you must be drawing rabbits with whiskers, right, which are not very visible here. So two large movable pinnae, that is here the ears, these are the pinnae that are present, right? They are large and they can move around. You can see how when they have to listen to some noise, so they can move their ears, the pinnae, or these are the external ears. Eyes are pink in color. I am sure you must have seen the eyes of the rabbit, which are pink in color. The forelimbs, you look at the forelimbs, these are the forelimbs, they are shorter and are used for burrowing, right? Whereas the hind limbs, if you look at the diagram, the specimen itself, you can see the hind limbs are longer and they help in leaping. Leaping is taking long jumps, right? So it helps in leaping. Sexes are separate with sexual dimorphism. So you can differentiate a male from a female by seeing that the females have mammary glands with nipples on the abdomen region. Males have a pair of testes and scrotal sacs, and a small and fleshy penis is also present, right? And now the last specimen in the animal kingdom, as per the revised syllabus, is a bird. Here you can see, and I'm sure you can recognize it. It is a pigeon, right? So again, phylum Chordata, subphylum Vertebrata, and the class is aves, right? So it belongs to the class aves. Columba livia is the scientific name, right? Columba is the genus, right? And livia is the species. So it makes its nest in scantily inhabited house. So in our houses we have these pigeons making their nests, right? They're found in go-downs. They can make their nest in go-downs, railway stations, where the habitation, not too many people are there. So areas which they find are a little quiet and not much of movement or something is there. Over there they build their nests, right? And they feed upon grains, fruits and insects. Bodies around 20 to 25 centimeters long, covered with slate blue feathers. So if you look at slate blue is grayish blue feathers, right? You can see here the feathers. A narrow fluorescent band occurs around the neck. So if you look at this neck region, you can see how shiny and fluorescent greenish blue color can be reflected or seen. So this is the fluorescent band that is present. It has a subspherical head, here subspherical head, mobile neck, that means it can turn around its neck, thick trunk, this is the trunk region, and a short tail, this is the tail region. The beak is small. You can see here, this is the beak, that is small and slightly curved in front. So if you look at the beak is slightly curved in front. The base of the beak is covered by a lobe of fleshy skin called the sessile. Eyes are red in color, right, very clearly visible, right? You can see the red color of the eyes, right, they are red in color. Forelimbs are modified into feathered wings, right? So forelimbs, all the birds have their forelimbs modified into wings having no digits, means they are not divided. Hind limbs are covered with scales, right? So these are the hind limbs, and very minute scales can be seen. These are the hind limbs of the organism, right? And you can see each bears 4 claws. So 3 are here and 4th one is here. 4 clawed digits. They are adapted for perching. What is perching? Perching is when they are there on the branches of trees and all. So with the help of the hind limbs, they clamp on to the branch, right? So that is perching. So that's about all for the practical, that is spotting. Specimens you've all seen, right? And you are expected to complete your practical work and submit it when asked for. So that's all for today. Thank you.